Um, anyways, this here was much easier to do. I could have, I guess when I was welding them together, done it, but I just, how I did this jig was, and a lot of it was just eyeballed when I put them cross pieces in. There, the furnace shut off. So there was a short piece up here. Oh, there was a short 3-inch piece up here. So I had this marked for 5.5 because I don't know if they're going to keep this plate, have to make another one or what. This was a 6-inch one here. And you can kind of see after you welded, there's a shadow on there so you can follow it. So there's a 6-inch here, 7-inch piece here, that flat stock, and then a 5.5-inch piece back here. So there's a stop here. I set the plate on, set it up against here for center line, set these pieces all in here, the flat stock. I got a couple pieces to show you. I just set them in here just loosely. I had started marking out when I was doing the flat plate, and that's kind of where some of this started. But there would have been a lot more to make it to get it to, so everything was square and straight and yeah. So I'd lay 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'd lay these 4 out. There's 5 actually, because the front one. But anyways, I laid these out. I set that tube on, put the tube up against here. Put the tube up against these two. That gave me my center line. I would tack the 2 sides back here and the top. And then I would tack all these pieces on. And then there was them flat straps like this. They would lay in here like this, and I'd clamp them to the side of the tube. Tack the inside to outside. Tack the 2 tops. I'd pull it out right away. Flip it over. Tack the bottom 2 on this plate here. Idea was to try to keep everything square, so I'd tack the bottom 2 there. When I had it on its side, I'd try to get it away from the jig to avoid splatter. But when I had it on the side, then I'd weld all these straps on from the side and hurry up and flip it and weld the other side so I don't pull anything or break any welds. Get that welded. And then when I was rolling around, I'd also weld this back tube right away to that plate, which would be, when I'm talking about plate, I'm talking about this one. And I'd weld that on. And then after I got that all welded on, I just had it sitting here on the table, and I had marks on here on the tube. You can see there I drew a line. Now, here's another jig that I made that I got save wrote on. And this is how I did this, just to try to speed up. This here, I'd go on the same side just because, I tried to make it the same. But I just put it on the side there, flip it over, and put it on the side there. And I was pretty close to accurate. I'd measure from back here to the tube and stuff, and I was, double checking. But yeah, that was my quick way to mark the center line up here. Like I said, I just hold it here, come down like that, and hold it, straight on this side over here. And then I'd mark the center line with a marker on that piece. So so I didn't have to measure every one. I just did that. What else can I show? That's about it. Like I said, I know these plates ain't the straightest. I cut them out. I drew lines and cut them out free-handed, and you ain't gonna notice. These edges, I mean, they're not, the only thing that matters, like I said, on these plates is this side here has got to be flat and clean, because it gets welded to these tubes. And I got to figure out a jig somehow to do them, and I think I got an idea just trying to look at this and figure it out, but and I think it's going to involve using this tube. I think what I'm going to do is put this tube in, like I said. I won't need a big piece of it, but that'll hold this, and I'll probably use that plate again that were over there, just so I can have something to butt up against like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put a strap on either side out here. So like I said, I don't have to try to square each one. So if I put a strap on either side here, and then a pin or strap, whatever you want to call it, over here down to the jig, then that brings me to my center line mark. And then that, with the two on the outside, would hold me square. So that should work. And I brought my dog with this time. We got a mess because we just pulled the truck out. And I find it kind of ironic, but one of the other workers, he folded up a shirt that was in a box. There was a rag. He brought it over here and put it down so the dog has a pillow. And yeah, he took over. A friend of mine, when I'm over helping him in his shop, he has a forklift. And this dog knows what forklift means, because I tell him to go load up on the forklift, and he goes over and loads up on the forklift. And I was fighting with him in the trying to keep him in the kitchen area and that, and people walk in and out because the bathroom, and he'd escape and come out, and he just wants to be out here. And I don't know, he'll lay on the forklift all day, and I just run him outside, and he just comes back in and goes up and lays on the forklift. He'd rather be there. He's can see us, I guess, and yeah, that's his happy spot, I guess. Right, you little gremlin? You sure got dirty in the shop here, though. So this truck, we put new leaf springs in the front of it. I shouldn't say we, but they, or whoever you want to say. And I did assist a little bit, and one other guy, and then the guy that gave the dog a pillow, he was doing it the most, or was doing it, I guess. You can see on the shock, it sits about 2 inches higher, the truck, so bushings were out in old springs, and then they were just evidently clapped some. This is all his own trucks. He's just going through them, and this is what we'll be driving. I showed some pictures during beet harvest and stuff, so this is what he does. He works on them during the winter, and he has everything ready to go for spring. So the bottom of this muffler broke out, and they're redoing it, so I suppose I'm too close for you guys to see, but stood it up the cab even. But yeah, they don't last very long, the mufflers, so